Martina Anderson MEP. Scotland has said, or rather Sturgeon has said, that a second referendum is required. In addition, Gerry Adams, as leader of the Sinn Fein, is calling for a border poll. Do you think we are in danger of losing stability in the UK?
Well, as an Irish Republican, no one will be surprised to hear that I'm not going to lose any tears over what I believe is the UK as it's designated breaking up from inside out. And that was inevitable, I think, given the fact that we have a hostile, hawkish Tory administration who has totally ignored the views of the people of Ireland and the people of Scotland, and who had said that during the British-Irish Council that there would be meaningful negotiations in relation to the triggering of Article 50, and she didn't even have the good manners to turn up to one or two of those BIC meetings. So I have to say that no one will be surprised to hear Gerry Adams' view on the border poll, or any Irish Republican for that matter. After all, it is a Good Friday Agreement commitment. The Good Friday Agreement is nearly 20 years old. So people shouldn't think that this has suddenly come out of the blue as a prospect and as something we should be taking forward. Of course, there should be a border poll. And what is refreshing, I think, in this moment in time is across the island, north, south, east and west, there are different political parties talking about whether it's a border poll, presidential voting rights in a forthcoming election for those people who live in the north to be able to vote in the south. Fianna Fáil, a party in the south of Ireland, talking about a white paper on Irish unity. Of course, Sinn Féin produced its green paper on Irish unity over a dozen years ago. So, but it's good that, I mean, this is not, we don't claim ownership of this. This is about all of the people being involved in it, because that's what's needed is a comfortable, confident conversation, and we're all sitting around the table mapping out our future.
Do you think your party would win a border poll?
Well, of course, we'd be in it to win it. But that said, the only poll that will matter will be on the day. But what we will fight is an energetic and enthusiastic campaign. We will reach out to all traditions. We will try to involve everyone in the conversation, and everyone will look to what the demographics are showing us, and whether it be 2022 or thereafter, the population of voters, the majority of whom will come from the Republican Nationalist constituency. Now, so that said, I want to ensure that, for instance, those from the Protestant Unionist Loyalist community, that their traditions and their culture and everything that they hold, that all of that is respected. And I think that's what a new Ireland can bring to the table for us all. So, I mean, whatever happens will happen, and the outcome will be known if we ever get it on the day. But we will certainly be approaching it with enthusiasm and with a degree of positivity that I hope will give us the outcome that we all desire and deserve.
And what do you really think that the recent elections actually mean for Northern Ireland?
Well, it means that everything has changed, and it has changed utterly. We have a situation now where there's going to be no return to the status quo. The political unionism that used to dominate the political institutions in the north of Ireland, those days are over, done with, gone. There are 90 seats in the Parliament, in the Assembly. And unionism that once held the majority of the seats in the Assembly now hold 40. The combined unionist vote now hold 40 of the 90 seats. And Republicans and Nationalists hold 39. So I think what that has done has sent a message to Republican Nationalist voters is that we can change and ensure that we never have a situation where you have one tradition ruling over another again. And I think that's what is required, that the power sharing arrangements that was set up, that they are embraced, and that the Good Friday Agreement and all the other subsequent agreements, that the commitments that are made are taken forward, because that's what this election says to us all. This isn't the need for a new agreement or another fresh start. This is a need for everyone just to implement what was agreed. And I think that all of us, all of the political parties, all of the different shades of political opinion should get round the table, because if you've committed to something and you've agreed to it previously, surely you're not going to dishonour your word and say, well, you know, you tried to pull the wool over someone's eyes and that was why it was agreed. You know, surely you're going to stand over what was done or try to take forward what others have done in your name.